Hello, my dear students. As you all are aware that we are studying labor law second paper, and we are studying the Factories Act 1948. Today, we'll talk about the safety provisions given under section 31 to 41. As we have already covered up to section 30, the safety provisions given under the Act. From section 21 to 30, we have already covered in the previous session. So let's start with section 31 today. There are provisions related to the pressure plants given under section 31, that if in any factory, any plant or machinery or any part thereof is operated at a pressure above the atmosphere pressure, then effective measures shall be taken to ensure that the safe working pressure of such plant or machinery or part is not exceeded. For the safety of the workers, we need to take these precautions, and this is the responsibility of the employer. And section 31 subsection 2 also empowers the state government to make rules providing for the examination and testing of any plant or machinery for the safety purpose. And the subsection 3 also provides that the state government may by rules exempt subject to such conditions as may be specified therein any part of any plant or machinery referred to in subsection 1 from the provisions of this section. So this is exemption power given to the state government. Now we talk about the section 32. Section 32 talks about the floors and stairs and means of access, that how we should, or as an employer, how one should take care of the floors, stairs, and the means of access. And all floors, steps, stairs, this is clause A, that all floors, steps, stairs, and gangways shall be sound and construction, and of these should be properly maintained and shall be kept free from obstructions and substances likely to cause person to slip. Because see, if these floors or the stairs or the gangways are slippery, then it may lead to accident. And then clause B of section 32 talks about that there shall, so far as reasonable practicable, be provided and maintained safe means of access to every place at which any person is at any time required to work. So that safety is also required. And clause C of this section 32 also talks about that when any person has to work at a height from where he is likely to fall, or then the provision shall be made so far as is reasonable, practical, by fencing or means in other ways or otherwise to ensure the safety of a person so working. And there is one important case also related to this, Davis versus Havilland Aircraft Company Limited, that in this case, no breach of statutory duty imposed under this section is occasioned if an injury is caused by accumulation of rainwater in the little depression in the concrete of the passage. And in case of Coal versus Blackstone Company Limited, it was held that the obligation imposed by this section is not discharged by saying that the occupier has taken all practical steps to ascertain the goodness and efficiency. So in this case of Coal versus Blackstone Company Limited, it was held. And then we talk about the section 33, which talks about the pit sumps and opening in floors, etc. And section 33, subsection 1 provides that in every factory, every fixed vessel, sump, tank, pit, or opening in the ground or in floor, which by reason of the depth, situation, construction, or content is more or maybe of a source of danger, right? And in subsection 2, the state government may by order in writing exempt subject to such conditions as may be prescribed any factory or class or description of factories in respect of vessels, some tank pit or opening from compliance with the provisions of these sections or whatever we have studied under section 33 subsection 1. So that exemption may be given by the state government. Now we talk about the section 34. Section 34 of the Factories Act about the safety of the workmen talks about the excessive weights, and under subsection 1 of section 34, no person shall be employed in any factory to lift or to carry or to move any load so heavy as to likely to cause him injury. And subsection 2 of this section 34 authorizes the state government to make prescribe rules prescribing the minimum weights which may be lifted or carried or moved by adult men, adult women, adolescent, or the children employed in the factory. So this is the, the state government is authorized to make rules on that. Now we talk about the section 35 quickly, as we have seen that so far up to section 34, there are different safety measures given under the Factories Act. Section 35 also talk one important safety measure, that is the protection to eyes, and section 35 provides that in respect of any such manufacturing process carried on in any factory, may be prescribed, this government may again make rules require that effective screens or suitable goggles shall be provided for the protection of the persons employed, right? And because see, in some manufacturing processes or some other work, a risk of injury to the eyes, right, and risk to the eyes by reason of exposure to excessive lights may be. So in under section 35 clause A and clause B, risk of injury to the eyes, and clause B, risk to the eyes by reason of exposure to the excessive light. And there is a case Finch versus Telegraph Construction and Maintenance Company Limited. In this case, it was held that the hanging of goggles in the office room is not enough, but the workers must be informed for their whereabouts, and only then the requirements of the section 35 can be said to have been complied with. So this is, very important case, the Finch versus Telegraph Construction and Maintenance Company Limited, that the goggles should be used by the workers and it should be in approach of the workers so that they can use that to protect their eyes. Then section 36 of this Act, Factories Act, related to the precautions against dangerous fumes and gases, and no person shall be required or allowed to enter any chamber, tank, pit, pipe, weight, flue, or any other confined space in any factory in which some sort of vapors, fumes, gas, or dust, dust is likely to be present to such an extent as to involve risk to persons being overcome thereby. So this is again, you can refer to subsection 2 also, that no person shall be required or allowed to enter any confined space as is referred to in subsection 1 until the practicable measures have been taken to remove these gas, vapors, dust, or fumes. And there are certain other provisions given under subsection 2 clause A, that a certificate in writing has been given by the competent person based on the test carried out by himself that his space is reasonably free from dangerous gas, fumes, or vapors, or such person is wearing suitable breathing apparatus and a belt securely attached to the rope, right? So all those provisions are given under section 36, and section 36A also provides for precautions regarding the use of portable electric light. That what sort of precautions one should take under clause A and clause B. Now we talk about section 37, which talks about the explosive or the inflammable dust or gas, right? And section 37 subsection 1 lays down that wherein any factory, any manufacturing process produces dust, gas, fume, or vapor of such character and to such extent as to be likely to explode or ignition, all practicable measures shall be taken to prevent such explosions by effective enclosure of the plant or machinery. Clause A, clause B, removal of prevention of accumulations of dust, gas, or fume or vapor, and then last one is the exclusion or effective and closure of all possible sources of ignition. And there are certain other subsections also. You can just go through those subsections also. Subsection 2, subsection 3, 4, and subsection 5 of the related to the explosive or inflammable dust or gas. And subsection 5 authorizes the state government to exempt by making rules subject to such conditions as may be prescribed factory or class or description of factories for compliance with all or any of the provisions of this section. Section 38 of the Factories Act talks about the precautions in case of fire, and this section provides that under subsection 1 that in every factory all practical measures shall be taken to prevent outbreak of fire and its spread for both internal and external, and to provide and maintain the safe means of escape, the necessary equipment and facilities for extinguishing fires, right? And subsection 2 also provides for effective measures shall be taken to ensure that in every factory all the workers are familiar with the means of escape in case of fire and have been adequately trained. And subsection 3 of this section 38 provides that the state government may make rules in respect of any factory or class or description of factories, require the measures to be adopted to give effect the provisions of subsection 1 and 2. So these are certain important provisions given under section 38. And chief inspectors under subsection 4 having regard to the nature of the work carried on in a factory, the construction of such factory, special risk to life or safety or any other circumstances, if the chief inspector is of the opinion that the measures provided in the factory for the as we have seen under section 38's subsection 1 clause A, that once we refer to the subsection 1 and subsection 2 and the inadequate measures have been taken, then the chief inspector may go for an order in writing and require that such additional measures as he may consider reasonable and necessary be provided in the factory. Then if we talk about the section 39 of the Factories Act, then power to require specifications of defective parts or test or liability to furnish the occupier or the manager or both of the factory on order in writing, requiring him before the specified date to furnish drawing specification or other particulars as may be necessary to determine such building ways, machinery or the plant can be used with safety that need to be provided, and to carry out such tests in such manner as may be specified in the order, and to inform the inspector for the result thereof. Then safety of building and machinery under section 40, and if it appears to the inspector that any building or part of building or any part of the ways, machinery or the plant in a factory is in such condition that it is dangerous to human safety or human life, then the inspector may serve on the occupier or on the manager or to the both of the factory an order in writing specifying the measures which in his opinion shall be adopted and requiring them to be carried out before a specified date. So inspector is authorized to issue these kind of orders. Section 48 talks about the maintenance of buildings, and the inspector, it appears to the inspector that any building or part of building or any in a factory is in such a state of disrepair is likely to lead to the condition detrimental to the health or maybe to the welfare of the workers, then he may again serve the notice to the occupier or the manager or to both of the factory and an order in writing, right? And specifying the measures which in his opinion should be taken and requiring the same to carried out before such date as is specified in the order. Then subsection B of section 40 talks about the safety officers in every factory wherein 1,000 or more workers are ordinarily employed, or wherein in the opinion of the state government any manufacturing process is in operation and in such operation or process involves some sort of a risk of bodily injury, poisoning, or disease, or any other kind of danger or hazard to the health to the person employed in the factory, then the occupier shall, if so required, the state government means by the state government by notification in the official gazette, employ such number of safety officers as may be specified in the notification. So, and the government is also empowered to make rules to supplement the chapter. Section 41 of the act empowers the state government, and the state government is empowered to make the rules requiring the provisions in any factory or in any class or description of factories of such further devices or some measures for securing the safety of persons employed therein as it may deem necessary. So these are the important provisions, my dear students, given for the safety of the workers under the Factories Act 1948. The other provisions we have seen in the previous session, and from section 31 to 41 we have discussed here in this video lecture number 23. I hope these PPTs will help you, this deliberation will help you. Just go through with these PPTs and refer the Barrett also. Thank you so much. Have a nice time. Have a good day. Bye. Take care.